Could we get more star-studded today? We've got Mariah, Eminem, the Jonas Brothers and Michael Jackson. 3 generations of the A-list. Well, it must be the Showbiz Hot 5. Stumbling in at 5, she may think she is in the same class as the aforementioned stars, but I'm afraid, I'm sorry Peaches, but you're still not as famous as your Mariah Brothers namesake. But despite Alison revealing earlier that Peaches has a very simple penchant for the word like,
I'm always gonna be following the bands, just to be brutally honest. That's what I'm down with.
oh dear God. Now she wants to be the next Poet Laureate.
I want to write one day, I want to have my Sylvia Plath moment one day, but I don't know, it's kind of like everyone says they've got a novel in them. I want to write something fictional at some point in the near future.
So Bob, you really do encourage her, don't you? Plodding in at 4. So moving up the fame ladder, Matt Lucas of Little Britain fame has joined the Boyle bandwagon. The biggest export in America since the Pilgrim Fathers, Susan Boyle has united Limeys with Yanks in a way that the comedy duo Williams and Lucas could have only dreamed of. So sure, what do they do when they're in a bind? Dress them up like a woman and you've got a hit. Yep, the man who made Marjorie Dawes a household name has pretty much just put on a different wig to look like Susan Boyle for a shoot with Heat magazine. Shameless, just absolutely shameless. But he does look quite a lot like her, believe me. Number 3. So they're the biggest boy band in the world and they're starting out on their international tour. The Jonas Brothers, currently wowing fans in Peru, who quite honestly clearly haven't actually heard rock and roll since 1984.
They're a good example to us. They're active with children's aid groups, especially with diabetes, which Nick Jonas has. They aren't another band like Kiss who paint their faces or do things like that.
And at the press conference, the boys, who were shell-shocked by the fans in London last week for the premiere of their 3D Experience movie, showed they're clearly getting used to the limelight despite their young age and very, very professional.
It's unbelievable. The fan reaction has been so great, and you never know what the reaction is going to be when coming to a new country. And to see that they have showed up in such great numbers and they're so passionate about our music and excited about the show just makes us feel so good. And we can hear them. We're 25 stories up in the hotel, and we can hear them chanting Jonas the whole time.
At 2. How can you resist this woman, the beautiful wife of Nick Cannon, Mariah Carey? She was wowing crowds earlier this week in Cannes, but the big drama has been the feud between her husband and fellow rapper Eminem. In his new song, Relapse, Eminem says, and I quote, "Nick Cannon better back the I'm not playing, I want to back you, punk. And Nick Cannon, you I wish you luck with that." In a show with my celebrity namesake Tim Westwood, Mr. Eminem claimed he has been misinterpreted. And I concur. Mariah and Nick, how could you think such things of poor old shy and retiring Marshall? Number 1 this afternoon, the O2, summer 2009, this is it! Michael Jackson's tour will begin, and we now know the 12 dancers who will be joining him. 5,000 people applied, including me. Here I am, just doing a bit of voguing. I'd have made it if I hadn't poked myself in the eye, but alas, it was whittled down to 500, and from there, people travelled from across the world to become one of the final 12. And this is the moment they met the man they have dreamt their whole lives of working with. Okay, so he can barely physically take part in a huddle, but the vibe is he's ready, he's raring, and watch out, because this is going to be the biggest tour in the history of music. Right, join us tomorrow for 5 more huge stories in the showbiz world.